friends, welcome back to round 3. We have an Icewind mirror match. Yay!
I'm glad you sound so excited. Me too.
Me 3, me 4, me 5.
Right, let's...
That being said, this is actually an interesting one because, yes, I mean, obviously Icewind gets the bad rep of being a boring something, but we do have 2 skilled players, Sam and Dan. And what this means is we should get an interesting, I like to call it a chess match for lack of a better term. That being said, turn 1 every.
Yeah, probably not the best of starts for Sam there. And you are not mistaken, chat, that you can see Icewind YRB up there. That is Preston's take on it, where it's Unalesca Riku Barreleye. So he was a big fan of YRP when it was, well, not when it was about, probably last set, but you know.
And that is a still at skin. So, Dan got a backup, but I don't think this is the start either of them wanted, which really throws this into a loop because now both players should be aware that this game's open and top decks are going to come in clutch. So, who is the sackier person? This is what we want to know. I see a Lulu inside. Oh, Sam drew his Chocolate, and okay, Sam is fixed. He's drawn the Chocolate, he's drawn a Moogle. Double backup, please. Toto for Moogle. Alexander for Chocolate, and there we go.
Yeah.
Board is fixed.
I mean, as quickly as these rounds can turn, that just proves it. Like, you know, easy double draw of awesome backups.
Such a shame that you can't ever untap the Chocolate for the free counter.
And there is the Evray of Preston's. And Jund for asking that when are you going to see me play. To be honest, with us ramping up towards Winter Cup, I probably won't be in front of that camera anytime soon. Sorry.
Unless they print a Monk Legends.
I mean, you know, they are printing heroes. They're not good heroes, but...
Do you need a hero, though?
I'm holding out for a hero.
To the end of the night?
Nah, just right now.
Well, he's not strong, and he's not tough, and he's not faster than light.
I mean, his name's Ash, and he gives stuff with Brave 3k. So there we go.
So did William Wallace, and look how that turned out.
I can't do a Scottish accent. I'm not going to try.
Steve, give us your voice through the mic. We need it to inspire us, give us some energy, so we can get through this slugfest. So we have the Sid Hayes. He's played the Nostalen.
I don't think he managed to get to the cast 3 though.
He didn't get to the cast 3.
So
Atomos, good,
yeah.
good. We're setting up what we need. Every activate. Are we getting a counter or are we playing something else? Nope, we're leaving it there. So the Chocolate is there because most people like to get the counter at the end of their opponent's turn just to make sure that they don't need that CP for anything else.
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest, I don't think Sam's really got anything in hand that he's probably going to want to cast anyway. So what does Preston do now? Can he get to the cast 3 and start picking off these backups with a bit of Dolan Freeze?
I see the Barreleye in the break zone. This is, of course, Dan's signature take on it. I say it. People have tried Barreleye in the past, along with Hope. Hope was the Icewind one. Dan actually does play as well the dual color Riku. Thank you, Steve. Thank you. Oh, I need some Iron Brew now. That stuff tastes nasty.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Iron Brew myself, but I mean, Scottish people are bastards at the best of times, so if they can drink that, good on them.
I tell you what I did. I'm a massive Brewdog fan, and I've ordered the Brewdog Advent Calendar for Christmas. I can't wait for it.
Drunken Master showing his true colours here on stream, guys.
Alcoholic Advent Calendars are the best Advent Calendars. Now, I joke. I don't mind an Iron Brew now and then. Alright, we got Rosa. Every activate. What are we thinking here? I don't think there's much he can do. He's holding that backup tap, so I'm assuming he's got something.
Yeah, I don't.
No.
Backups would be nice, I guess, but going with the Azana.
So, question for the chat: what is the giveaway tell of a wind player? What is the giveaway tell of a wind player?
Someone that sits there beforehand, furiously shuffling a hand of cards.
They always have a dice on the table. Always got to keep track of your casts. We have an Azana, we have a Chocobo. I think Dan's using this as his turn. He's got the Rosa, so...
I would love a cast counter for games like this. But, I mean, if you all want to count along with us in chat, we'd also appreciate that.
1, 2, got some glue. 3, 4, rat the store. 5, 6, it really stinks.
Alright, so we've gone in with Azura.
Oh! Ooh, that is a nasty hit from the Zidane. That is nasty. Actually, this does make this mirror match really interesting. Who can steal the most bullshit card off the Zidane?
I don't know, Stalin, but Preston's already got one.
Yeah. What if Zidane takes Zidane?
I mean, that's brutal, if that is the case. But so far, losing the Rosa kind of sucks, but of things you could potentially be losing, like a lock and things like that, I think you're probably happy to see it that way.
Yeah. So I'm assuming, I'm guessing it's the case that he did get the 3. He obviously did get the 3 casts. So Sid Hayes froze Sam's backups, which makes this really awkward. Yeah. And I think that turn, even though Ice Wind is playing off 2 backups, which traditionally they don't, that was a really impactful turn.
Doing the streamer lean. I see a Lulu. I see nothing else.
Well, Lulu can get summons.
Yeah. But we need to get to that second cast. So we've used Every to reactivate the Moogle.
And you know what? This is one of the things why I don't like Ice Wind over Mono Wind, is because Mono Wind can kill when it needs to. It has Dryad, it has Fat Chocobo, it's got these things that can deal damage. Yeah. Ice Wind does not have that in nearly the same quantity.
So...
just give me a Typhon. Let me deal with something.
Well, we got it's almost like we're playing a mirror match here. A Sid Hayes and an Azana for Sam this time.
Alright, Chocobo, so he's digging for resources. Flip 3 summons. Flip 3 summons.
Oh, that'd be brutal.
I've seen it happen. It's not a nice sight.
So, gets the reactivate off the Atmos. Going in yet again with the Chocobo. Let's see what he flips. That's going to be cast 3.
Sid Palendia, can't get the Chocobo. Sid Palendia is a bit of a dud because he's already got the Sid Hayes. But is there a way that he can get an activation for that lock? I don't know.
No, he's obviously used the F-Ray to get the turn going.
Yeah,
and Atomos is triggered.
And he's on damage too, so Atomos can't swing for that extra activation.
Exactly. So...
Steve is right. Icewind gets a more resolute endgame. Very hard to lose when you lose so aboard. This is true. This is true. But you have to get to that stage.
Yeah. So it looks like Sam is definitely... Oh no, he is choosing the lock in the end.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that he does have a way to actually play this.
Does he have ICP in hand, and can he just overpay for it? Because I think that would probably be devastating enough. So
he's gone to combat, so he's freezing his down, freezing the Stalin. There's no point freezing the Rosa, so you can just leave it.
I mean, you had to keep the Zidane down for a turn, didn't you? There was no way that it would need it. Well, it would have probably stolen something great at this point.
And ideally, that Zidane sits there for the rest of the game.
Yeah. So we're going to get another Chocobo.
Latte, Lulu, Chocomog, so...
Probably the Latte, right? Get your resources up?
He hasn't got a Lulu on board. I'm a bit hesitant because it feels like this has already devolved into a forwards fest. I know, obviously, these guys want to get as many backups as possible, but with the amount of pressure that's already on the board, do they have the time?
Yeah.
I'm no Wind player. I'm speculating here. Obviously, people out there know a lot more than me.
I mean, Lulu would be nice in order to get back a summon and effectively make the Sid Hayes a non-blocking issue, I guess, but... The thing is, at the same time, do you want to take Sam to 3 damage and have his Atmos go live?
Yeah, and this is something that, and this is a very good tip for newer players as well. Damage matters, especially the damage 3 and the damage 5 threshold. If you know of a deck that is potentially playing something that a Tomos, a Jin, just off the top of my head, and then a damage 5 like the Fiend, when Fiend gets that ability to not take damage less than its power. Tyro for the power buff potentially. Those thresholds do matter, so it is something that you should always take into account. Sometimes it's better to leave them on 4 to not give them access to that extra powerful effect until you can guarantee lethal.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what Preston's thinking right here as well, is let's leave him on 2 until I have a bit more I can do.
Yeah.
So
when that Atomus is live, that is more CP. It's only 2 at the minute, but with more backups, it gets bigger. This is what I thought. I didn't think he could play the backups, so we're going for the Lulu.
yeah.
And the big difference here is... Actually, it's not really a difference, because one is the Atomos, one has the Rosa, which means they both have a way of reactivating backups.
The thing is, I don't like. Again, Preston can attack in here. He does make the Atomos go live, as we've discussed, but is that enough pressure to make it so that it can't attack anyway?
And Asura.
I mean, the Asura can reactivate forwards, right?
Asura is a win card.
It certainly is. So we reactivate the Zidane and just steal some of Sam's instead.
And then the Azura, the Zidane will die to the Sid Hayes.
Duff, thanks for joining us. You have missed a glorious Cloud Pod versus Mono Ice for round 1, which was brutal. And yes, you are seeing a Wind Ice mirror match at the moment. And you also missed Mason absolutely stomp poor Morgan with a Cat Sex deck.
You mean Morgan, not Morgan?
Yeah, that one too.
Can't discard Lusa for Asura for Luso.
Did we?
We've got a misplay. We're
then.
being called
Go
out.
on then.
Right.
On your skates.
Dan broke the rules.
Good catch there. Appreciate that. Hold it up. So. Do. So we're just letting Preston know. Yeah. So he's done a mess up. Oof. Let's be careful on the comments there, Duff. You know, we try to run a clean ship around here, but I do agree. I mean, double Toto, double the draw 2 turn 1. It sounds like there was a lot of misplays going on in that tournament. Again, the streamers and the commentators tried their best, but from what we understand, the judges weren't as receptive to it as they probably could have been. But don't worry, we will try and not let that happen for Winter Cup. We should hopefully have stuff in place for that. But double Toto's always fine. That's why I run 5 in my decks. Yeah. Trying to get it back. It looked like it did go a little bit further than we kind of anticipated it. Loving the banter in chat, guys. Keep it going. Okay, right. We are back to where we should be before the misplay.
We fixed it. We fixed it. Jim fixed it. Wait. Shh.
No,
I didn't say that.
No.
I didn't say that.
YYT coming in force for Winter Cup. I mean, is this where we go, ooh, we're so scared? But no, we're looking forward to seeing you guys as always. Pints at the pub as usual.
Mm-hmm. Now, good luck flying into Cardiff Airport. You'll be redirected to Amsterdam.
Hey, at least ain't as bad as Luton.
So we reversed the game point. I believe we reversed it to the point where he discarded the Luso for the Asura. He just cannot add the Luso back. He has to pick a different mode.
Yeah,
So he's activated his backups, I believe. Going to Cardiff twice in a year is a fever dream for me. Just check out the museum.
It's free.
It's free.
Also, St. Fagans. St. Fagans is great.
We have a really nice Nando's on the main street.
There's a nice Nando's down the bay too.
They've opened one in Leckwith.
What?
No, they genuinely have.
Oh,
by
okay.
the Cardiff City Stadium.
Man, there's good food everywhere though.
Steve's coming twice in December alone. You're always welcome here. Right, you come in. House party. We're doing it.
You all here to hear on stream, guys. Get everyone involved. Worldwide invites.
The rule is you must only buy supermarket brand spirits.
Oh God, how are you trying to kill people or what? Okay, so
Hey, how dare you both be recommending now? I will have you know, I have a red chili on my Nando's card. I get a free whole chicken. The only problem is I'll have to get it lemon and herb because that's what the missus wants, but
yeah, that's disappointing.
yeah. Thanks, honey. I appreciate that one. Fish gave me such an adoring look there.
I'm enjoying both the banter in stream and through the chat. So
we are chocoboing. What did we get off the chocobo? I missed that one.
yeah, me too, because we were giving each other such longing looks.
Aww. So I know he's got a lock in hand. We know that much.
So the pressure is there on Preston's side of the board. Oh God,
Dad jokes coming in.
I think I just died of cringe there, Steve. Thanks for that one.
You know Nando's is South African.
Yeah, of course. I mean, did you not know that?
No.
Do you not remember the adverts when it first came to Britain? Where it was like on a South African beach and they had all the
Mate, I was
tin
just-
drums playing.
I was just glad I didn't have to eat at KFC anymore.
Mate, KFC's still good.
Have you tried Popeyes?
No, I haven't yet.
Get it.
Right,
Popeyes
okay,
is
okay.
good.
Popeyes just fresh you up with a drive-through down the bay.
That's the one.
It's just stopping the two fat guys behind the commentary desk. We will stop talking about food when Sam decides on the play, guys.
Tiny Rebel is better than Brewdog. Deal with it.
Brewhouse, though, has live music.
This is true. So, back to the game.
We're still waiting on a move, so we could be a while.
What do you mean the rental van's outside?
Dad jokes. Anyway, chocolate.
The most popular item on the Starbucks menu. Alright, I'll stop. We'll focus up.
Man, did you hear that Imagine Dragons coming to Cardiff?
Imagine Dragons?
Yeah, Imagine Dragon these nuts.
Right, okay. We're professionals.
Who said that?
HR.
Oh, okay. Whoops.
So,
Right.
we got a Sipalendia. This search is, I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, the only target that Icewind play is Sid Hayes. Problem with that is there's a Sid Hayes already on the board. Tiny Rebel is better than Blue. I'll tell you what, actually, Steve, I loved Innocent Gun when I was up in Scotland. That was a real surprise to me. Genuine, I would recommend Innocent Gun. I thought the beer was good and the food was banging. So, we have a Moogle. Moogle is on the board. We're tapping the Sipalendia. Discarding a Zidane for a Lulu. So, we got multiple targets. Asura is coming in. Now, is there an active... He's got the Moogle up, which means he can activate the Asura, activate backups. I'm expecting this to be a very big turn for Sam.
Yeah, he seems to have the resources. But the thing is, though, Preston still seems to be in control here, so he can't really swing out and do much damage to Preston by the looks of things. So we get a bit of damage or set power from the Lulu on the Sid Hayes. Going into the combat, looks like we're going to go after Preston's backups.
Yeah, this is a crippling turn. A Termo swing, activate, yeah. This is the risk we were saying. If you put decks like this onto 3 backups, you risk that Atomo's coming in and changing the complexity of the entire game.
Yeah, does Sam still have that lock in hand from earlier? I'm assuming he probably does.
He doesn't. He's got a Chocobo. I think that was a Chocobo. There's an Asura. Yeah, a Chocobo, Asura, and Luso.
Okay.
Now, I'm trying... He's on cast 5? So he can Luso. He can Luso. He can definitely... I believe he can, anyway. Assuming that 5 is representing how many casts there have been.
Is it cast 5, though, or did he get to 3? So he played the Sid, he played the Moogle, and he played the Chocobo, right?
There's a draw off the latte. And a free coupon for a cappuccino.
Next will be pumpkin spice.
I genuinely can't stand that.
You wouldn't catch me dead spending money in a Starbucks, to be honest, mate. So, and there's the Luso.
No, I pay taxes. Alright, I'm assuming that was cast 7.
No.
Nope.
It's only cast 5.
There it is.
There's the cast 6.
There it is. Add it back. Ooh, and then Alexander for good measure. Cast 7. Board wipe.
Brutal.
That's the game right there.
Yeah, you're frozen out of backups. You got one reactivation. That's probably GG. Again, as we said, that was the risk you take for putting Wind Atmos to damage 3.
I think Steve is absolutely correct. The fact that Sam had access to the ICP from the Moogle is the big defining factor in this. Dan not having access to that ICP so he could play things efficiently probably really messed his hand situation up.
Again, though, we had a bad start from Sam. Everyone was saying it's probably game over. Preston didn't have exactly the best of starts.
But this is it, and I don't like bigging up the competition too much here, but Sam is genuinely a really good player, and he deserves all the accolades he's got. He knows exactly what he's doing, and with Wind, it's like a supercomputer. I can't comprehend it. And he's played this one, I'm assuming, perfectly. If I was a teacher, and I am, I would grade him an A+ without even sitting the exam.
That's so nice of you. But I think we're looking at GG, as you said. He's got the Asura and a Riku in hand. Can't play the Riku. The Asura does nothing. So, Sam making a great comeback there. Some excellent plays. Goes off at the right time. And Luso to win.
There we go. That is a GG. And you know what? That was not the worst match of Icewind I've ever seen. That was actually fairly interesting.
I don't know, there was 10 minutes in the middle there where we were talking utter nonsense while we were filling time for waiting for a play, but that happens with when you're trying to play solitaire.
So, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Popeyes is the superior restaurant. We will try and get Sam over here to pick his brain more on that one when we can. So we'll catch you guys in 2 minutes. Hey guys, we're back. We got Sam here, the victor. That was a bit of a strange one. I mean, those first 3-4 turns, as we were just saying, that were fairly interesting. What was it like from your perspective?
It was a bit of a non-starter. I mulliganed into a 0 backup hand. Dan mulliganed into a 1 backup hand. So there wasn't. I knew it was going to be a bit of a slow burner. He put Sid online first. I thought, okay, he's done it without too much fuel. I may get a turn off just to untap, especially because my second turn draws with the 2 best draws in the deck, they were just two seed backups. And then he kept top decking into more and more fuel. And I was like, okay, well, maybe this isn't my game, but I'm just going to sit here and take some damage. Hopefully he attacks too much to Atmos on, because that's the way I come back here, is that he gives me Atmos triggers. Up until we'll talk about the misplay, him getting the Asura. After we fixed it, because I didn't spot that he'd discarded the Luso he picked up. When he got it, he wanted to change it to Alexander, so he changed it, but even then it is incorrect. He's meant to grab the Chocobo to bring the Zidane back to his hand, untap, play it, and just start stealing my cards again. So that was slightly unfortunate, but I He also likes playing loads of one-offs, so he likes Paralyzed and stuff like that, which I'm not a huge fan of. Admittedly, I took this list just from Alex because I just took the Worlds list because I thought it seemed to be good enough. I would tinker with it a bit myself, but it is what it is. And then when he kind of let me do my thing, I tend to think my turn's ahead, which is why I sat there thinking for a while. But I was pretty sure I could get to at least 5 casts that turn, and then depending on what I drew, what I saw, I was fairly confident I could wipe the board. And when I hit the Lusos and worked out the math, I was like, this game's over now.
Yeah. Well, and this is it. I mean, generally when people play Wind or Icewind, they want to try and get to 5 as quickly as possible so they can start to abuse the activations that you get from the Atomos and the Rosa. But that game didn't quite work out that way, so how do you adapt in that situation depending on how this board state has changed? Okay, you know you're not going to get to 5 backups due to the current circumstances. What's going through your head at this point?
So it depends on the... Part of it is meta knowledge, so if you know your opponent quite well, you can work out how they like to play, what they like to play. You've also got to, when you play the matchup a lot, I've played a lot of Wind decks, I know the mirror fairly well. We tested this a couple of tournaments ago and the deck's not changed very much. The best card in the deck is Zidane.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, I was hoping he would not hit it, and then when he did, my first and foremost...
Rosa.
Yeah, so my first and foremost thought once I see the Rosa is stop the Rosa. The other part was nice reading of chat.
Yeah.
The other part you have to do is you'd like to get to 5 backups. If they've got a resulted haze and they're showing you that they can consistently hit 3 and stop your backup growth, it's not worth discarding play cards, because if you get to 4 backups and you untap and you have 2 cards in your hands, you can't come back from that. So the only way to come back from that point is a Yuso turn. So you have to start just keeping cards back and hoping you get long enough to develop it. The other thing is, in the matchup, knowing Zidane is important. The other really important card is Atlas.
Yes.
In the Wind Mirror, and this is information for people who've never played the Wind Mirror, who've never played against a Wind deck, do not hit Wind to 3 damage unless you are killing them.
We were talking about this on stream. The damage thresholds, 3 and 5 in particular, but 3 in this case because of Atomos.
Yeah, 5's not relevant, I don't think. I don't think there's any cards that care about that. But 3 is very important because Atomos doubles your mana, especially in the Mirror where there's no interaction for him. Apart from stuff that's...
Dryad, Fat Chocobo.
Yeah, but when he's got anything in hand, I know that I basically have free reign to do what I want there. And getting double mana allows you to do the kinds of turns that you saw at the end there. Lock is also another key important card in that matchup. I had to discard it because I just realised I didn't have the resources to be able to use it. But it's very much about being as efficient with your CP as possible, knowing your win condition. If you're ahead, you need to keep the lead, you need to keep Sid hazing, you need to get your hasters, you need to be discarding them, bouncing your lock to do more damage and all that kind of stuff, and killing the key cards. And if you're behind, you have to hope they don't know that. You have to hope they whiff. Or you have to build up to a big Luso turn, following it up with either an Alexander or a lock to kill any backup monsters that are left. And then at that point you have to kind of hope that's enough. In this, when he tapped out, obviously I knew it was a mistake and it wasn't a sewer issue. But regardless of that, even if he played the turn he wanted to play, my plan hadn't changed.
No,
my plan is exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's just he gave me basically an extra card to do it with, which is appreciated.
So what is your weakest matchup at the moment, do you think?
The deck I played in round 2, which was Cloudman's deck.
Right, okay.
Because as far as I'm concerned, it is an anti-storm deck and doesn't really have game against much else. He went turn. I didn't open backups because I have lost that skill apparently on my time off. But he played turn 1 Remedy into turn 2 Sid Haze and then hit my 2 Dryads into damage on the first 2 damage. So I just had to kind of sit there for 6 turns until the game ended. Apart from that, Mono Ice, which I know is more prevalent Cardiff than is anywhere else, that's a horrible matchup. It's always a bit of a rough one. Other than that, the reason Wind Ice and Wind tend to do well is because it doesn't really have many other weak matchups. FF13 was a heinous matchup, but that deck's kind of died now. But any mid-range deck you will beat. You will out mid-range them, will beat their cards, you will get advantage they can't get, and then they will shunt out to you and you don't care, and you just carry on regardless.
So, of course, one of the big questions that many Wind players will have is, do they go mono or do they go ice? So where are you at this current moment? Because mono got things like the Fat Chocobo from the last set, which maybe could have given it that little resurgence, more kill spells that Icewind may particularly lack. Where's your thought process at the minute?
It's very meta dependent. Both decks are very, very strong. If it is a meta where Wind Ice is played a lot, Mono Wind actually wins that matchup because it can combo easier and more effective. If you are playing a mid-range matchup with a lot of sticky threats, Wind Ice is better. And Wind Ice also tends to be pretty good against aggro, but Shinryu's kind of helped that for Mono Wind as well. At the moment, given the kind of threats that exist, I think Wind Ice is probably the best at the moment. And given the results in Worlds and results in tournaments, I suspect that's carried out. I think Mono Wind is a much harder deck to play, with a much higher top end, because it's very hard to open a hand in Wind when you just win. Whereas Wind Ice, you can just go Sid Haze into Zidane, into Lock, and then suddenly the game just, like, you've already won. Whereas Wind doesn't tend to do that. The best hand you have in Wind is 5 backups, turn 3, no hand. Like, hope we go from here kind of thing. I'd say Wind Ice is the best at the moment, but obviously the meta at the moment, I have no idea, unfortunately.
And then just to round this off, we've had a couple spoilers that we can potentially see going into Mono Winds. We've had the Tiamat that we saw a couple of years ago. And then what's the one that's just come out now where the cost goes down for each card you cast?
It draws a card, doesn't it?
Yes, that one. I can't remember the exact name, but it was just announced.
I want to say it was a Tidus, I think.
I thought it was a Varn.
It could be a Varn. It's one of those. It's out there. It's out there on our spoilers on Discord. If you're already in the Discord, you will find it there. But do you think those cards are beneficial? Do you think they'll not see play?
I want to think they could. The Tiamat especially. It's one of those cards that just stops aggro lists dead, which has always been a fairly big matchup. Unfortunately, I think the new Neo X Death hurts Wind quite a lot, because the way Neo X Death, the way the Neo X Death kind of clears the board is a way that we're not used to. Usually you Toto, you still have an Everett and Atmos. Losing those cards is quite big, especially as most Wind decks only play one of each now. So once they're gone, you ain't getting them back. I also worry that there's a lot more aggression tools, and at the beginning of every meta, it's always an aggressive meta. It's always what kills you fastest.
People are trying to find their feet.
Yes, and Vikings is tough.
Vikings look spicy. Vikings look really spicy.
Because Mono Wind can wipe it, but then you've drawn a billion cards afterwards.
Yeah, because half of them will draw a card after they're done.
And Ice Wind can't tap down that many things, so that's a bit of a tough one. I'm going to go and see. My personal opinion is, as much as I'm a Wind player, and I'll probably end up playing Wind at some point, I'm going to start with an Earth deck, because I think I'm going to start with Neo X Death and just kind of go from there, to be honest.
Alright, well that'll do. Thank you very much. And we'll catch you guys for the potentially final round in a minute. Stay tuned.
See you guys.